Sorry. We were not able to hear your voice just now. Could you try speaking again?
Well, Mr. Hui, can you turn on your microphone?
Good. Would you be able to turn your microphone on? Oh.
Mọi người đã nghe được chưa?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Is it
we
okay?
can hear you. Thank
microphone
you.
is now available. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the invitation to share the policies of the greenhouse gas emission reduction policies in Vietnam, especially in the framework of the COP26. We have the zero target, net zero target. So this is under the commitment of the Prime Minister of Vietnam, Mr. Phạm Minh Chính. Well, in my presentation, I'll talk about the Vietnam updated NDC, well, greenhouse gas management in law on the environmental protection of 2020, and the decree on the greenhouse gas emissions reduction and ozone layer protection, and the action towards the net zero target. So you can see that the NDC was submitted by 2020. So the unconditional target by 2030, the minimum 9% compared to the BAU. So that's the 2030. So with the international support, so by 2030 up to and even more than 27%, that should be mobilized. So within that frame of time, we built the law on the environmental protection 2020 with a very specific guideline regarding the greenhouse gas emissions reduction policies at the central and the local level regarding the GSG emission reduction. So particularly the measurement, the approval and the plan for the reduction of the greenhouse gases at the sectoral and the ministerial level. So these are the activities which will be making significant contributions to achieving the goal towards net zero target committed by the Prime Minister of Vietnam. So this is the very first degree on the GHG emission reduction and ozone layer protection 2022. And the Prime Minister decision on the issuance of the list of sectors and facilities to submit GHG inventory 2020. So this is the very first legal basis of Vietnam. So we have identified more than 2,000 facilities emitting to the atmosphere, and they will start reporting their emissions by 2023. So that should be the allocation properly to the central and the local level for the reduction of the greenhouse gas. So this is also the legal basis for these facilities to join in the carbon mechanism and the the credit mechanism under the Paris Agreement framework, and it is kind of the tax, which is the very first regulation of Vietnam. At first, we started with over 2,000 facilities, accounting for more than 30% of the total national emissions. So, but they are the facilities who will have mandatory to reduce the greenhouse gases by 2025. And then we will be able to control the total emissions of these facilities in comparison with that of the central level will be higher. And these facilities will be required to, to calculate the emissions at the local level. And on that particular basis, the ministries, and localities will be building their own plan regarding the greenhouse gas emissions at the local level, and then report to the MONRE and making contributions to the NDC. So now we are building the decree, and we're not talking about the net zero target yet, but the responsibilities to different levels, from the central level to the ministry level to the local level. So we already have the policy. First is to raise the awareness. Second is to enhance or to build up their own capacity regarding the calculation or measurement of the greenhouse gas emissions and the identification of the potential of the reduction of the greenhouse gas emissions at the local level to the central level. So this is in order to achieve the net zero target by 2050. And alongside, we built the regulations under the joint carbon mechanism. So we have completed the project for the development of the national carbon market in Vietnam, and the policies within the framework of the Article number 6 of the Paris Agreement, together with other regulations for the facilities to have more flexible mechanism in order to reduce their own greenhouse emissions. So within the framework of their own responsibilities. So it is the very first degree. So up to this time, I would like to report to you all that it has the consensus of different levels, from the central level to the local levels, for the greenhouse gas emission reductions. And now we're working together with the government office and the Ministry of Justice in order to compile and to finish this degree and to be submitted to the National Assembly by the end of December 2021, or by the latest in February in 2022. I would like to go to continue. So this degree is divided into two phases. Well, in order to meet the target committed by in updated NDC. So the first phase is from 2022 to 2025. So there's no pressure on facilities to reduce emissions. And the focus is on the enhancing facilities capacity to carry out GHG inventory and to develop mitigation plan. And then it is setting up a national GHG inventory system, the MRV system. That is activities for period from 2022 to 2025. And then the second phase from 2026 to 2030. So that should be the mitigation measures at all levels will be implemented. And there will be the quota for emissions, which will be distributed. The carbon market is fully operational by the period from 2026 to the end of the 2030, and the MRV system for managing mitigations at facility level. So we are moving towards the circular economy or the green economy. The carbon market mechanism will be applicable in order to achieve the higher effectiveness and efficiencies of the energy use and to enhance the responsibilities of all different stakeholders. So we have identified about 3,000 facilities within the framework of the greenhouse gas emission reduction framework, and these facilities are in energy and industry. So the transport corporations, there are about 200 corporations of the transportation and logistics, and the towers of energy of over 1,000 TOE, and the other facilities with the capacity of over 65 megawatt a year. So the first mechanism will be issued in 2022, and it is fully operational, approved by the government, National Assembly. So we are working together with these facilities in order to clarify their responsibilities in reporting the GHG emissions. So within the degree, we have the templates and the form, the guidelines for the implementation of the baseline greenhouse gas emissions framework. And we're working also together with the international partner, especially the JICA, to build the online reporting mechanism so that the local facilities, local organizations may conduct the reporting regime online and to report their results of the calculations of the greenhouse gas emissions by the deadline. So the responsibilities of the facilities, by 2025, provide data for the greenhouse gases inventory developed and build up the capacity. So the responsibility of the government agency, so especially the line ministries, the MOEJ, the MARD, the MOT, MOC, and the MONRE. So by 2025, they will have to provide the technical guidelines for the greenhouse gas inventory and the MOEJ activities, develop database of the greenhouse gas emissions and mitigation, national and sectoral greenhouse gas inventory, develop and implement sectoral mitigation plan, update list of facilities to submit greenhouse gas inventory. And from 2026, distribution of emission quota for sector and facilities while implementing sectoral mitigation plan towards and beyond 2030 target. And from 2027, well, we will be developing regulations and piloting carbon market for high potential sector. And finally, from 2028 and beyond, well, the carbon market will be fully operational. And for the local governments, by 2025, well, they shall be supervising the implementation of greenhouse gas inventory and mitigation plan at facility level. And from 2025 and beyond, they shall be able to verify the inventory at facilities level. So the facilities now, they are volunteering in building the carbon market and making contributions to the building up of their own capacity. So we have the action towards net zero target under the commitment of the Prime Minister at the COP26. So these are not only the political commitments, these are the true commitment of Vietnam towards the net zero target. And we have built a roadmap developing and implementing a 2050 net zero roadmap. And we have also identified the action plans to develop NDC implementation plans for the period of 2022 and 2030 by LMs of industry and trade, transport, agriculture, rural development, natural resources, and environment and construction. And for your information, at this point, after COP26, the ministry and the locality and business community in Vietnam, while expressing their support to the net zero target, and they are building the plan for achieving these goals. Especially the area you can see we have received the letter. We are building the plan towards the reduction of greenhouse gas and the automobile maker associations express their support and to join our actions. And the roadmap will be including a number of the action plans at all levels, from the national level to the ministry level to local level, with the participation of the business community, and especially with the facilities with the huge potential of the reduction of greenhouse gas emissions. And this would be including the implementations measures to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions in all economic sector. The guidelines regarding the regulations to guide the implementation of the greenhouse gas inventory, the MRV at all levels and sector, the monitoring, developing regulations and guidelines for monitoring financial. Regarding the market, we'll be launching a domestic carbon market linked with an international carbon market, and implement mechanism under the Paris Agreement and other voluntary mechanism. And this guideline will be built in 2022. So we will pilot by 2025, and within the framework of 2 years, it will be fully operational. So with the area with the high potential of the greenhouse gas reduction. So we working together with the science technology sector, regarding the technology transfer from the other country in order to enhance the effectiveness and efficiencies of the new technology. So it is a high cost activities, but the international cooperation all the socializations will bring about the practical social benefits for the development. And the final pillar should be the finance. We will be developing financial mechanism and policies to mobilize capital to carry out activities to respond to climate change and to reduce greenhouse gas emissions throughout the economy. So while this will be bringing about the competitiveness to all of the business community. So these are the main pillars and the action towards net zero target. So with the primary goal is to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 2030 while completing the NDC of Vietnam, making the contribution to the climate change framework. And we will come up with the further adoption and adaptations of our framework, and we're looking forward to the collaboration, cooperation, and coordination from the international partners in order to work better in the future. Well, thank you.